I taught public school, and I taught social studies and history for about 25 years in Fairfax County. And government comes into play in a very important way because you study the Declaration and you study the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. So, and explain to the kids why we have certain laws that we have, they can look back to say, okay, I make a connection now why we do this because it was put into our Constitution or our Bill of Rights. And then every year when we would finish that, I would list the two parties, and I was very careful to not appear to be partisan, which I could not afford to be partisan. So I would list the areas where Democrats were most friendly and the areas where Republicans were most friendly. And I even had people come and look at the list to make sure I was fair. And they said, yes, it's fair. So the kids would come in, and of course they're going to be influenced by their moms and dads' politics. But they would look at the list of Republican, like pro-guns, and they were aware because they always had to do current events of all the violence, and they would sort of be appalled at some of the anti-environmental stands that the Republicans would take, and they were thinking then a little bit more deeply, which is what I wanted them to do. Even though they'd say, oh, I'm going to vote for President Bush, or I'm not going to vote for Obama if I could vote, which we would always have a straw poll in our classroom, but they could understand a little bit more about what each party stood for. And hopefully when they're of the voting age, they'll think a little bit more clearly and more deeply about what it means to be a Republican, what it means to vote Democrat, and make the decision that will be good for our country.